Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and I want to welcome you to episode 168 of Limb Lengthening Live, where the patients interview the guests. And we are finally back on podcast live streams. That's right. I took a little bit of a break there. I was a little busy trying to win a bodybuilding show, which I did. It was a very hard show, but I'm nice and fat and happy after my 11,000 calorie cheat meal. So, but we are back at it, and we are back to talk about limb lengthening. And today we have two guests on the show who are no strangers to the show. We have Nailed Legs and Aaron. Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Doing all right, man. How about you?
Awesome. All right. So, we're gonna do today. We're just gonna do patient updates, and then if anybody wants to have Q&A, ask questions, bring content on, feel free. We can do that. I'll be really just see something. Some people are joining, and then in the background here, and I hear noise. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so we got Codeman Red. Hey, what's up?
Remember me?
I do remember you. We've done a consultation way back, and you had surgery since, haven't you?
I have, yeah. It's been a minute. I'm in the last little bit, but I just wanted to join for the first time and just kind of say what's up. And yeah, so
awesome, man. I'm so glad to have you here. Yeah, and then we have a good old master distractor, 81.75. He has hit his goal, apparently, and he brought some content as well. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go around the panel here. We're just gonna do some patient updates, and we'll do some live Q&A in a little bit here. But thank you, Ricky Dean. Hello all, congrats, Victor, on your win. He watches the show. And then we have TBB. Congrats, Victor. Thank you. Yes. Champ is here. As you guys can see, I got my little belt, my title there. But anyway, all right. So what I want to do is start off with Aaron, because I was going through emails today, and I found that he sent an email like 2 days ago, and I was like, man, I feel so bad. So Aaron, I actually brought your content. I'm going to share the screen because let me just bring it up here. So he brought some x-rays of where he is, and then Aaron's going to go ahead and talk about all that. So let me just share my screen. Hold on just a sec. All right. So Aaron, these x-rays, when were they taken? And yeah, man, your bone growth looks great. So talk about what we're seeing here. I think his audio dropped again. Aaron, go off and come back on. He has such bad luck with this. I feel like it's my fault, but I talked to the support staff, and they're like trying to blame it on me. They're like, check your router. I'm like, I have a gigabyte speed of Verizon Fios. It can't be my router. So, all right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so this x-ray was taken actually last Friday. Dr. Robbins just came back from a vacation, like from Poland. So he had a...
Uh-oh. Did he drop out?
I can't hear him. I can hear you, Vic.
You can hear me? Okay, so maybe it's Aaron. Maybe I don't feel so bad now. All right, Aaron, if you have another device, maybe that might be better. I really want to get his update because he has some, so as you guys can see, let me get him on here. Hold on.
Hello again.
All right, let's give that a shot.
I don't know why this keeps dropping, man, but yeah, I was at 6.1 centimeters, and Dr. Robbins saw me last Friday, so this is just my my lateral and, my APV that you saw earlier. Now, I will say Dr. Robbins seems to be more on the conservative side, because he told me, like, I would have, if I stop right now, it would take me like 2 months before I can start walking unassisted. But if I continue lengthening, it would be 3 months. And, I shared my x-rays with, like, on the Discord, and people didn't really seem to think so. So I hope I'm able to walk within a month, optimistically speaking, but if you say it's good, it looks good.
Look incredible. I've seen a lot of x-rays, and you listen to your surgeon, but look at that bone growth. It looks incredible, man. Good for you. That looks crazy good.
Yeah, he rated this like an 8.5 out of 10. Because I asked him to rate it like out of a 10. He was like, what did you want to hear? And I was like, as close to 10 as if possible. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that it's going pretty good. I actually saw another x-ray where someone was actually at risk of pre-consolidating, and I put it on the Discord, but man, he grows like a mutant, man. You can't really predict like how your bone's going to grow, and like how fast, or like in what shape it's going to grow as you're distracting. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good so far.
So you said you're at 6.125 as of this x-ray?
This X-ray was at 6.1, and right now I'm at 6.525.
Oh wow! So you're at 65 millimeters in. That's crazy. And for the patient who did almost pre-consolidate, how far were they along?
He's gonna catch up to me, man. I mean, he's doing like 3 or 4 turns like alternatively, but he's at around like 6 centimeters if I had to guess. But he was like 1 to 2 weeks, maybe like 2 weeks, like after I did my surgery. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
What's this chart you have here, Aaron? Because we talked about this before, but just explain it for everybody who's new here.
Yeah, sure. So what you see on the left column is like the days. I'm counting out the days like after surgery. So surgery day was like day 0. And what you see on the 4th column is basically what the ERC will read at the end of that day. So by the end of today, I already finished all my turns. So today is the 14th. I'm at 6.525. And my goal is to hit 7.4. That'll take me to 5.9. And if I'm on track, then I will hit 7.4 on day 100, which is August 29th.
That's crazy, man. So literally like in about 2 weeks, pretty much, you're going to be at your goal.
Yeah, I'm almost there, man. Feels
Dude, that's
amazing.
incredible. Now you have in the orange box over there, you say fix any small discrepancy. So obviously that happens. Do you have a check-in with Dr. Robbins around there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So the pink date, which is August 22nd, that will be my last visit as part of the package with Dr. Robbins, and I think he'll assess like if I need to modify any turns just to fix any like small discrepancy if it does occur.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you have one last PT hydrotherapy session in the green there.
Yeah, it's actually gonna be my my last formal hydrotherapy session at Paley. I've always been in the pool every single day at the hotel, so I kind of just like figured things out as I went along. But I've heard from other people who had hydrotherapy sessions there, and I kind of figured out what to do. But I have my favorite therapist who's going to do hydrotherapy on me, so I decided, yeah, why not?
That's awesome, man. You had such a smooth lengthening minus a little bit of I think it was nerve pain, like right around what? 5?
Oh yeah. So about that, my right leg started having a little bit nervy issues, but it's not bad. I would say like both of them are pretty much like the same at this point. I mean, it's like a 1 out of 10 if it does occur, but it's super manageable.
Okay, not like the other one.
Yeah, not like that other day. Like the first time, like on a Wednesday, I don't remember the exact date, but yeah, that day, like my left leg was just burning it like nonstop. So
wow.
it never went back ever since that occurred. So that's good.
That's crazy. Now, guys, just take one more look here. We'll keep Aaron on the show, but we'll come back to him. But like, look at this. His X-rays. He's still lengthening, but his bone looks like this, right? So when he's done lengthening, the locomotive stops and he can actually get on the train. Do you imagine how fast his bones are going to consolidate? I don't know. I guess you could have a bet with Dr. Robbins and say, like he says 8 weeks or whatever. I'm going to put a bet and say 5.5 weeks. I think you're going to consolidate because that looks really good to me. That's incredible, man. Awesome. All right. So we got Aaron. So next up, I want to go to nailed legs. Nailed legs. What's new with you? Because last time you were on, you were getting checked up by an orthopedic surgeon who was kind of monitoring your bone growth in your femurs, or at least one of your femurs, I believe. And you were going to give us an update if you had another check-in with them.
So I had finally gotten the bone growth stimulators. They'd come through. It was a little bit of back and forth with the insurance. They tried sending me originally, like the distributor, a magnetic bone stimulator, which instantly, that set off alarms in my head because, the gears are magnetically powered. So why are they trying to send me something that's going to send, electric waves? And I spoke with my surgeon. She said, yeah, don't get that one. Get the ultrasound one. So they wound up sending me finally the ultrasound. It's called a Mana Fuse. But they're all pretty much the same. They use like the same frequency. So there's Excel Stim, there's Exogen, and then there's this one called Mana Fuse, which is a little bit newer, but it's all the same. It's ultrasound, bone stimulator. It uses the same frequencies and whatnot. So now I'm starting to use that, and then I'm taking HGH as well. So just between those two things, I'm hoping to speed things up. The only downside of it all is that it's taken this long to finally get everything together, and finally having all the tools that I need to really boost the bone growth, which interestingly enough I've been consolidating now since February, and Aaron has better bone growth than I do. So
sorry about that.
I mean, that's awesome though, man. I mean, I'm very happy for you. That's great. But if that gives you any sort of reference point, I mean, you're doing awesome. So just tell your bones to keep it up.
Will do.
So what's the next step from here, Nail Leg? So just use the bone stimulator twice a day, 20 minutes. Is that what the basically, and then hopefully the bone regenerates?
Yeah. So for me, I'm supposed to do them. So there's 4 different spots. So I have 2 machines, 20 minutes each. So but only each point is getting 20 minutes in total. So I'm doing that, and then I have the new set of X-rays on the 21st,
Okay.
and I'm hoping for something good. Right now, it's mainly the left femur that's behind. The tibias, they've actually been fine since a couple of months now. My tibias have been weight bearing. It's the femurs that have been lacking, like the worst, which is completely backwards.
Mm-hmm.
But just terrible regenerate this whole time. But I'm getting closer.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, hopefully the bone stimulator works for you. It worked for me for my tibia. It works for quite a few patients, and some patients it doesn't work so well. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you, man. So 21st. So that means that week we're gonna have you come on, and hopefully you'll give us some feedback on the X-rays you get.
Yeah, hopefully walking.
Yeah, hopefully walking. That'll be the best day. Like, a lot of people are finishing their lengthening then. I think Aiden is finishing his lengthening then. He told me. So if Nail Legs can walk that day, it'll be a great day. All right, awesome. All right, so next up, we have CodeMan Red on the show. He's new to the show, but he's not new to the listening, and he's not new to lengthening. CodeMan Red, what's up, brother?
What's going on? Yeah.
Tell us about you. So now you actually had your lengthening with a different surgeon. You got your femurs done. You seem to be doing well. So yeah, just give us a little update on everything.
Yeah, so I actually went to a surgeon named Dr. Stephen Wallace in Oregon, and he was great, and he's a really, really nice guy. He seems, I did research on him, and he's very skilled at his craft with more of a focus on things like limb discrepancy and other like orthopedic issues, but he's trained in this, and he started opening up that practice. So yeah, I got my surgery on May 13th, and I've been through the whole thing, and now I'm in kind of the final stretch. I'm at 62.5 millimeters.
Wow.
So I haven't been going as fast as possible. I started off at the 4 turns a day or whatever, not turns, but and everything was going good, but I just found myself mentally feeling like some days like, let me just take the last one off, or like before I started, I was thinking like, how exciting is that you're getting taller 4 times a day? That's really cool. But then mentally you're like, you also kind of want to give your body a break and stuff. So but all in all, it's been going amazing. Around the middle point, around like 40 millimeters is when I noticed the nerve pain, or it might have been a little before that, but just to kind of reply to the other gentleman that had nerve pain, it sounds like everybody kind of most people hit that. And with me, I actually I was on my way to a physical therapy appointment. I was in like, a ride, an Uber ride or whatever it was. And I started getting that numbness, and I didn't know to expect that. And I was like, oh no, something's wrong. So I didn't even go to that PT. I was like, turn around, man, I got to go home. But, and then I started doing a suggestion of like taking my leg and like, this is my leg, and kind of doing, what's it called? It's like a weird stretch that stretches your
nerve glides. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Yeah. Something like that. So I was doing that, and that just hurt. It didn't help anything. So I was like, never mind. So I actually started using a supplement. If anybody is about to hit that stage or is in it, and it seems to have worked, it's called Alpha. It's called like ALA, alpha lipoic acid. I got it on
acid. Yeah, ALA. Yeah.
Amazon, but it has everything else in it too. So it's not just that it's called that, but in the ingredients, it's got the B12, the B1, and then something called I can't read it, but there's another ingredient, and this supplement is for nerve repair and that's exactly what I need, and it worked, and I have no nerve pain now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just totally gone.
Put the link in the private chat. I'll talk about it, because I mean, I know what ALA is. I use it actually right now in my contest prep supplement.
For sure.
But if there's a natural supplement that can help resolve nerve pain without going on gabapentin, then we are going to preach that to the world right now. That's huge because, I mean, who wants to go on gabapentin and have to wean off and do all that tapering and all that stuff if you can take a natural supplement? I mean, ALA is
that's the other thing that people were taking or something for it?
Yeah, they were taking gabapentin and or Lyrica. Let me click on this and see what we got here. Yeah, we have alpha lipoic acid and then yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. I've never heard of that other ingredient. But it's nerve metabolite. I'll have to look into this and maybe make a short or something out of this.
Yeah, it worked for me. And then, like, you know, as far as like knowing that the nerve pain is gone, there's still some numbness, you know, and that's also I've read pretty common. There's still some numbness, but I think your body just kind of gets used to it. It doesn't bother me anymore. There's no pain, but like, you know, you can feel. I really noticed the nerve pain when I was doing my stretches, and you know, doing it when you're on your stomach and like pushing up to stretch your hip flexors. You know, that like whatever you call that pose where you're arching your back and but that's when it would have like shooting pains down the front of your leg, like from the nerve being stretched or whatever. So that's what I was dealing with when I first got it. And then, you know, that's now gone, long gone. And so now I don't take any pain stuff. I haven't for a long time. But I do take Bone Restore, another supplement that's on Amazon that's got all the stuff your bone needs to grow. I just do those a day. And then now I was kind of on the fence about like, okay, here I'm at this stage where like some people stop and they're happy at like 62 millimeters. I also started shorter than average. I started at, believe it or not, 5'1.5". It's so funny to say that because I'm not anymore. But I was just thinking about proportions and stuff, and I just realized it's like you can deal with that. We're talking 2 more centimeters. It's like if you've gotten this far, it's not that much more to do it. So just do it. Also, I did hit that point where the muscles just all of a sudden got tight. Like I was stretching every day. And before the surgery, I was extremely flexible. I appreciate it a lot more now, but like I could take my leg, you know, you're on the stretching mat, you lay down, you could take your leg and pull all the way back, like hold it. And it was straight, you know, for hamstring stretches. And then totally like I could kiss my knees if I was doing it that way. And quads were nothing. I could barely even feel a stretch and I was all the way up. So now those 2 things are limited, but I kind of just intuitively like slowed down. Like my surgeon has pretty much left it up to me. I mean, he just says, you look good. Your bones look good. You can stay at the rate. I don't see any reason to speed up or slow down. But so dealing with the tightness of the muscles to where like, you know, it's where like you try to bend your knee and it will only go so much. And like the muscle just locks. So I started working on that and like copying things I saw my physical therapist do, where like I went to a physical therapy. I finally found a good one that wasn't just like, yeah, do a couple of these exercises at home and like just watching me stretch. I was like, I want him to do what I'm seeing in these videos of rubbing my muscle and going like this and stuff. And I just couldn't find somebody that was doing that, or I couldn't communicate how to get that. And finally I got a physical therapist, and he was doing like soft tissue work and like on the tight muscles. And that really helped. And then he was stretching me for me, and I was like able to take a lot, but then he would do like a little bit of a bounce, you know, to get it to stretch more. And so I'm starting to do that at home with my stretching bands and stuff. And I have noticed getting more flexibility. Like even as I'm lengthening, my flexibility is increasing. So it's good that I kind of was able to bring that back. That's
incredible. And you said that, so the tightness really started to kick in right around that 4 or 5 centimeter mark?
Yeah. Especially 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that's where you're like walking around and it's like, man, this is tight.
Yeah.
Not necessarily painful, but tight, you know?
Yeah. And you know that it's tight. Yeah. And then how often do you do the stretches and stuff that you're doing now per day? Is it just once a day, or how often?
I do it before every stretch or before every growth session. So that would be about 3 times a day, 4 times a day, depending on what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
But I really noticed a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, but when I was getting really tight and when I was thinking about like, okay, should I maybe stop this and just get to walking and like just enjoy it? And I was like, no, go ahead and then I decided to just take a couple days off, only stretch that day. So, or on those days. And I did that. And any weird bone pain, I had some bone pain in my right leg that was flaring up when I would go from seated to standing and stuff, and that went away, and then the flexibility came back. But yeah, just stretching and doing that and taking the days off helped. I hope I answered your question.
Absolutely, you did. Yeah, no, definitely. And a lot of people, they go full force through, but I think taking those staggered days helps a lot. What about like x-rays? How have you gotten any x-rays? Do they look pretty good?
Yes, I have gotten x-rays. They look different than other people's. I don't know if the like printout is different than or like what they use, but the last appointment I had was July 25th, around there. And he said it looked good. You could see it more on my left leg, the outer little white thing, but it doesn't look like the other one, like all that stuff. It doesn't really can't see very much, but it feels good. It doesn't feel like there's nothing there, you know.
Okay.
But he said on the right, it wasn't as obvious in the printout or the scan or whatever as the other one, but he says he felt confident about it. So
that's what matters. I'm super happy to hear that, man. And I'll tell you this, I think that like, you know, you go into a surgeon that like, I guess you could say like a newer surgeon, that's really helpful because a lot of patients, we're trying to find out like you're a patient case. And if you turn out really well, then this surgeon can be on the map for other patients that live in that area. So
yeah,
huge. And the fact that you're kind of echoing a lot of the same, you know, symptoms and things that patients go through, like, hey, at 4 centimeters, I got the nerve pain. At 5, I started to get tight, you know, but you're doing these type of stretching. It's really good to kind of standardize the procedure for femur patients. So are you happy so far that you've been going through the process?
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's as doable as it is. You know, of course, there's been those times where there was pain and a little scary or something. It was kind of scary when you first start growing, when you first start extending your leg on your own accord, like, all right, here we go. And you're doing it so many times a day. And it's like, it's a little scary. It's a little bit like, what is this? Okay. But now it feels totally normal. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've been able to, you know, I'm not like going out a bunch or doing anything, but I'll like go to a family thing because my mom come get me and I take my walker and my wheelchair and we load up the car. And I have found that like if anybody has to deal with stairs, I found a really handy stair climbing cane. Instead of like sitting down and going down them, there's a cane on Amazon. I can tell you the name. It's got like 2 bases to it. So it's this cane that looks like that. And then your hand, you hold it up here and it's a base that's on the top step. And the next step down is the next base. It's very sturdy.
Wow.
And so I use that every day because I have one railing for the that goes down my stairs. And then the other one, you know, I use that and I just take it on the stairs with me. I'm to the point where I can do things like go have a bite with somebody, but like it would be like I'll pick a place where we can park right there, next to the seating, and I just go right there. And it's so I'm not like overdoing anything, but it's like, hey, I can be a little. And those are the times when I can enjoy my height because I'm like standing and like for me, like I said, I was short, so my mom was my height or maybe slightly taller, like at half an inch or something. And so now I'm not much, but like noticeably taller for me. So that's fun to just go out and grab a bite or go to a family thing. And now I'm taller than my mom and my aunts and my sister. And it's like, cool, you know? And then also, of course, people that are taller than you, you're closer to their eye level and they can notice it too. And it's just fun. It's like, wow, you know?
That is so great. I love that, man. I seriously do. I think that's something. I actually visited the HP house in Baltimore yesterday to see some patients that, you know, I've been talking to, and they said the same thing. They kind of gone, you know, as a group to a local gym to work out, and they said that they would stand up in between sets, you know, near the machine, and they would kind of look around and they say, oh, that guy has to be a little bit taller than me. And as the person approached, they started to realize that, you know, oh, he's not that tall, like either they're eye level or maybe they might even be taller. And it's pretty complex stuff.
Well, I had an experience like that because, okay, so at first it was like, this is pretty cool. You know, I was just noticing it with people that I already knew that were my family, whatever. Not even all my friends. I'm not even getting out there like that. I'm still just like hanging out with my mom, my family, one friend or something might come over, but like I've just kind of taken a pause from that. But I went to a physical therapy session and it was a new physical therapist that I was working with. And it was a guy that like just your average guy that I'm used to seeing all the time. And I didn't know how tall he was, but I was like, I knew he was taller than me. But like, so once we got into the room, I'm in my wheelchair, so I haven't seen my height compared to him yet. And then I transferred from my wheelchair to the table, and this is the guy that started doing the soft touch tissue work and like stretching me. And then so when I got up though, and I put my shoes on, that little, because he had shoes on and I was bare, and then so I put my shoes on, I was leaving it, I stood up and like I was like so close to his eye level. And I'm like, wow, I just felt tall. And I'm like, I started off at 5'1.5". I was really, and I'm like, will you stand in the mirror like with me? And we looked and it was like just two kind of similarly heighted guys or whatever. Yeah. And so that was a lot for me. I was like, wow, it felt like that feeling of like that I got when I was standing next to my mom or my aunt or something. It's like, yep, I'm taller, but like I felt that with him, but I didn't know him. And so that was a weird feeling. Like I didn't know you before, but I feel like I feel it in front of you too. And that's just about like noticing yourself amongst the world, right? Where you're like, you see counters and stuff different. So just a 5'8" guy that you would normally walk by now is like closer to my eye level. So
absolutely. I think that's so cool, Codeman, right? Because of the fact that like, these height perspectives, they change along the process. And a lot of people, they say that, I can't really notice my height until I'm completely done. But you're using the walker, you're standing up in between, and you're only at 63, and you're noticing now. Yeah.
0.8 inches is when I went to a Father's Day thing, and I know I was at 0.8 inches, and that's when everybody noticed. So it's not that much, but it was enough to, maybe it was just because of like how close I was with some people that it put me over. Yeah. But it's just 0.8 inches, and they were like, they noticed, and now I'm, obviously much further along. So
it's funny because I'll tell you, like, even for my discrepancy fix with that, you're only as tall as your shortest leg. When I got the 4 centimeter boost, it's not significant. It's 1.5 inches, but to me it was. I noticed that, and I noticed that, hey, when I walked to next to people that I remember being 5'7" starting out, now I'm like closer to 5'9". I noticed that, right? Your body knows those minuscule height increases, and you said 0.8 inches at the Father's Day gathering. You noticed it, and now you really noticed it. It's huge, right?
Yeah. So I did something else fun the other day. One thing I would say that like, watch out for it if you're going to do this was a couple things with like how your body looks. Like obviously your muscles going to atrophy and stuff. I didn't really think about that as much, like how quickly it atrophies.
Yeah.
Really weird. Like I had built my muscles up a little bit, like, nice strong legs and stuff before the surgery, like maybe more than I would, just to make sure I had enough strength to do what I wanted to do. And like, you're just, for me after surgery, like just in a couple days, like, so much of it didn't look that like you could notice, but you just like the strength, and like I didn't really notice my butt muscle.
Yeah.
And so I'm purposely like now doing like little exercises to get that back, because I just don't like how that looks. And stuff like that. And I also noticed like swelling right after the surgery, my hips swelled a lot because your legs are wrapped or whatever, and then the hips aren't, and then you're just had surgery. And so it messed with my mind, looking in the mirror going, yeah, I'm about to be taller, but like my body doesn't look like it did a couple of days ago. So stuff like that. But you just have to know that you'll get back in shape when you're done, when you can really hit the gym or do what you need to do and walk. Like if you're not walking around, how do you expect your legs to really look? But I've been able to keep them at bay. Like I'm fairly happy with how I look, but I was just chipping a little bit about how the hips looked in the mirror and stuff. But I've realized that like I'm just not able to do cardio and stuff. So I started to do my little low carb bodybuilder diet. Helped like right away. But something fun that I did was I was just looking at my proportions in the mirror, and I wanted to put on like a regular outfit instead of just like, jammies that you pretty much wear around the house when you're healing. You're not really getting ready like you usually do and putting on jeans and stuff. But like I kind of put on an outfit that I would wear like once I'm walking, just to kind of see how do my thighs look, how does it look. It looks good. But then how there's lifts. I had ones that I would wear when I would go out on a date or go out like dancing, like when girls are wearing heels. So I would be like, all right, let me get myself a little boost. They're going to be boosted already. So I had really comfortable ones that I found on Amazon that are like all curved to your foot and stuff. So not even like those firm like ones that are like that. It's like it's short. So it only just, I don't know. It's the perfect shape that you do not feel it when they're in, but they're like 1.5 inches boost. Okay. So I used to wear those, but of course I haven't, because I'm not like doing that right now. But I put on some shoes and I put them in, of course not walking around without my walker. I just stood up in my walker and then like saw in the mirror, and it was comfortable and stuff. I'm like, because that gives you a preview of what it's going to be like once your tibias are done,
Yes.
And this is how that height feels, and it was freaking cool. I felt like But like I look forward to being able to put those in my shoes before I get my tibias maybe, and just still get a little.
Absolutely, 100%. And like, so that's an inch and a half plus the 2.5 you're at right now. I mean, that's like what, 4 inches of new height right there, give or take. That's huge, man. That is huge. Holy crap! I really like your experience so far, Codeman Red. So you're at 63-ish. What's the goal?
So today I kind of just said to myself, okay, get to 70 and then see about that. But if my body is continuing to tolerate it, I guess I'll just go to 80. But the mental thing is like, I'm not a pro bodybuilder like you, but I do like, I'm just not, I don't compete, but I'm a bodybuilder. I know how to build my muscle, and I'm aware of my aesthetics and stuff like that. And so I was, looking at my proportions and stuff, and it's like, it's a funny, like, feeling. It's like, I love my body. I'm like, I want it. I don't want to change it. Like, I'm like, I don't need to go any further, but at the same time, I want the height. And so it's like mixed feelings, like I was just stretching the other day and looking in like the mirror and thinking like, well, this is good. I don't need to change my thigh anymore, but I want that, so it's 2 centimeters though, I realize. And it's like, come on, man, you've already done it. So just knock it out. So the plan is, to just kind of go for it. But, it's just like, I'm ready to be done and get to the fun part, Yeah.
Which is enjoying the height.
Yeah,
absolutely. And are you considering tibias? Because you mentioned it.
Yeah, I am considering tibias. I talked about it with Dr. Wallace, and we were playing around with the plan of when I remove the nails from my femurs to insert the tibia nails. And by that time, the max could be out or whatever, which would be a nice boost. But I have really been surprised how much I can get around with these nails. I was lucky enough to get the thickest ones.
Okay.
I think the 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I didn't know that until after surgery, and he was like, "Hey, we gave you the thickest ones." I'm like, "Yes." So that probably has helped me. But I'm following protocol, like all wheelchair and then walker to transfer and stuff. But like sometimes I'll use only the walker to go to the kitchen. Like if my mom's here or something helping me, then just to kind of visit with her instead of the wheelchair, I'll just take my walker over there and kind of stand and do a little. But like right now I'm able to like. Everybody can stand for a little bit, but like it's pretty comfortable. Just to stand there, I was like cleaning the counter and stuff, doing all these things for a little while today, and it's like, wow, like we can do a lot. It's pretty comfortable.
That's so funny you mentioned that, because our next guest, Master Distractor, brought some content with him, and he is doing a lot of that. But I want to ask you one more question: is what's your body weight right now?
I haven't weighed myself. I'm curious. Yeah, I don't feel like.
What was your body weight before you started?
Yeah, it was about 155. Remember, I was like, I'm being nice to myself, 155 or 160 or something.
So you were pretty much right around the capacity of both nails, and then you surely lost some muscle because, like you said, so you're probably sub, the capacity. So you can definitely stand and do all those things safely. So
yeah, and maybe if it's the thicker nail, like I think people have talked about this too, where they say that this is the capacity and you want to follow that, but like if push came to shove, maybe it really can take a little more than that, but they want you to shoot for that. But,
right. I've heard some rumors.
Judging from what I can do, it's like they're really strong. I mean, not lucky, but like I'm bending over, grabbing. I mean, I'm smart with how to like put my hands in, but I can do
a lot. Yeah. See, and let me ask you this last question. So it's like you didn't wait for the PMAX, and for people who are in that same boat, they're like, oh, I really want the PMAX so I can move around a little bit more. But you're saying, hey, I'm pretty mobile. I can do a lot myself. What's your advice to them?
I would say I wouldn't necessarily wait on it. I mean, unless time isn't really an issue for you and you're like, oh, I could do it within 5 years or something. It's like, sure, wait a little bit. But also I think if it is max, they're still going to tell you, I don't think they're going to want you to walk around on it.
Yeah.
Like it may say that you can be weight bearing. So, but maybe you won't have to use the chair as much, but I don't know. It's only, it's only a short period of time that you have to partially weight bear. But I mean, I think for tibias, maybe it could be advantageous. So that's why it would be cool if it ended up being out by the time I get mine, which I assume is going to be like maybe around May of next year. If it's because this is a year after surgery, they want to remove it. So that would be around that time for me, and then it would be tibias. But there is a chance I could be fine. It's like this is already a gift and a privilege to be able to do this to me, I feel like. And it's like I get to be taller now, and it's not like I'm going to be a 6 foot tall guy. You don't have the hands and the arms and everything to, so this is good for me. But the tibias, that would put the legs in more proportion, I guess. But so I could get away with it, but that would be the plan. But it's also like, maybe I'm really happy by then and I'm walking and almost running or something, and I'm just like, all right, I'm good. I got to get to business. I got to do other things. Or maybe I meet somebody or something, and it's like, I'm not trying to be off of my feet anymore. I got, so that could be a factor. But yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Gotcha, man. That's so cool. I can't wait to keep following your journey. So, well, you are a welcome guest. I mean, really, really interesting experience so far with your lengthening. And I like to kind of follow it through to the end. So definitely chime in whenever you can, man. That'd be great. All right. So yeah, MD, what's up, my man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So you brought some new YouTube videos, and I'm gonna kind of like share them on screen. And as they're playing, I'll obviously drop the links below the video later, so that you can just kind of go through and show people what you're doing.
Okay, hold on. I'm walking around as always, so just give me a second to hold my phone.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Aaron back on. There you go. All right, so Aaron's on here. So while you're getting to your situated, MD, I want to ask Aaron a question. So Aaron, as far as like what Codeman Red just said, like he's pretty mobile. He can do quite a bit of stuff. Aaron, what size diameter nails do you have?
I have the 10.7 millimeter nails, so that's like 50-pound weight bearing restriction on each leg.
Gotcha. And how much do you weigh?
Before surgery, I was 145. Now I'm like in the low 130s. I mean, it fluctuates if I eat a lot in one day or not. But yeah, it's 130s.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And are you able to do things like what Codeman Red was saying, like kind of like, or are you pretty careful in the wheelchair? Like, how do you?
Yeah, I will say I'm one of those people where I'm pretty much on my bed or wheelchair like 99% of the time. But I would say like, as far as getting around the walker, just standing around, it does feel pretty comfortable. So, I mean, I do agree, like, it's not as bad as you think it is. Like, even like just getting around from one place to the other is like, you can still do a lot of stuff like cooking, like using the bathroom, like you really do get used to it. So for anyone who's like thinking about waiting on the PMAX nail for like, at least for the femurs, I would say like, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, I have two interesting observations about the PMAX nail based from what I've heard from other patients and therapists. Is like the people who did the P2 nails actually did better than the PMAX patients for their femurs, because the PMAX patients were just getting around walking. They weren't really doing their stretches. So they kind of just got a little bit lazy on that, and they were experiencing like earlier like onset of like nerve problems. I don't know if it had to do with the nail or not, but yeah, man. I mean, P2, it's a good reliable nail. I wouldn't really wait on PMAX if you're still thinking about it, but that's just my opinion.
That's fair advice. I mean, I think I kind of agree with that. I think a lot of femur patients, echo the same advice there. I think the tibia, like Codeman Red said earlier, is like, the tibia might make sense, and it might be out by Q1, Q2 next year. So from what I'm hearing, the rumors, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Nail legs, how much do you weigh, and like what size diameter nail do you have?
Oh man, now I'm about 170 and I have the 10.7, so I put on about 30 to 40 pounds. Yeah, insane.
Yeah. Darn, that's right. But like during lengthening, you were a little lighter.
Yeah, when I was started, I was like 135. My goal was to cut down as much as I could, because I knew after I was gonna basically eat a ton of food to try and give my body all the nutrition it needed to heal. Of course, that didn't work at all, because my bones said I'm going to go on vacation, and I just got fat instead. So
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed for your bones to heal. So those femurs got to come on. And we got Aiden on the show. Aiden, how's it going, man?
Hey, Victor. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Everybody's talking about gaining weight here. I gained like 10 pounds too after my cheat meals after the contest, man. It wasn't just one cheat meal. It was like multiple, and just within 2 days. It was a fast-paced.
What was your cheat meal?
Oh man, which one? So no, I went to Texas Roadhouse. I got like what did I get there? Like a huge 16-ounce sirloin steak, some seasoned rice and fries, and then I I don't know, 10 rolls, and then I ate some Honey Nut Cheerios when I got home. I always give myself 2 full days to get 5,000 calories a day, but I went over a little bit on one day. It was like 6,500, but I'm back up. The water weight's coming out, so I should be back on track here shortly. But it was very good. I had almost everything in sight, so it was really good. But Aiden, you are at a new height. You're at 70 millimeters. You're 7 centimeters in, right?
Yeah. Just hit this morning 70. So entering the last centimeter, man. Ready to be done with this.
Incredible, brother. And you're still going at 1 millimeter per day?
No. I'm still at 3 turns.
Oh, that's right, 3 turns. And so that means like by the end, like when Aaron's done, you should be done pretty much, right?
Yeah. Should be done next. Two Wednesdays from now.
Yeah, you guys are gonna. And Aaron, when are you finishing again? I think his thing switched up. I can look at his chart, but yeah, he's gonna finish within the next 2 weeks as well. That's exciting stuff, man. So, any new developments or updates that we should know about since we last spoke to you?
No, pretty much the same. Just I did try to go back to 4 turns, but my body didn't like it, so I went back to 3. So I had like a minute there that I was feeling too good. When I went to 3 turns, that I was like, well, let me get back to 4. So I did 4 turns for a couple of days. Then I alternated it, and then I started to get that heavy tightness again. So I'm like, I'm no rush. So I went back to 3 turns, and the body kind of like accepted it. So I'm respecting it right now because I'm in the last centimeters. So I just ride until it's 80 at 3 turns for sure.
So you and CodeMan Red are doing a similar thing, like kind of going by feel, see how the body feels, and just regulating your turns based on that.
Yeah,
Very like that. And Aaron, when are you gonna finish, Aaron?
Yeah, I'll be finished pretty much like 1 day or 2 days, like after Aiden finishes.
Okay, so you
Pretty
guys
close, yeah.
started on the same day.
We twins, man. We twins.
It's interesting. I mean, like remember, like we have like a sister twin who did like the same surgery as us. So she's at 60, I'm at 65, and Aiden's at 70. So it's interesting. We're just all over we're just going at our own pace as much as our body can tolerate. Right.
And you have different goals too. What's her goal? What's she gonna try to finish up at?
Me is 74, and
I mean,
Aiden.
Aiden girl.
She's trying to. Originally, she was trying to go the full A, but now she's kind of like, she's lengthening. She was like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Once I reach 70 millimeters, and I'll reassess from there.
Got it. That's awesome. So, Aiden, it's been pretty smooth sailing for your lengthening up into this point now. No new tightness or anything like that. Now that you're at 70, I mean, that's 3 inches of new height. I mean, anything in the posterior chain, like near the knee, the hip, you're okay in terms of tightness?
Yeah, no, tightness is pretty the same as like 5 centimeters. Like it's been pretty steady.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the 3 turns like kind of sweet spot because it goes along with the stretching.
Yeah.
It kind of matches the stretching with the 3 turns. They kind of even out. So when I go 4 turns, then I notice like, okay, I'm feeling tight today. The only issue with me has been the bone pain. Like I have a lot of bone on the sides, and it's rubbing the muscle. I guess it's making like a scar tissue, or whatever. And so when I'm doing the knee bends, it hurts if I go like past 110 or something. But I don't need to go. I don't need to do any more than 90. So at 90, I'm good. So I'm not pushing anymore because they told me at the beginning, like if you wear a 5 centimeters, we gotta push too because we want to have more range than what we need.
Mm-hmm.
At an early stage like that. But now that I'm almost done, we're not pushing it. So I'm feeling even better at that. Like PT is better right now than when it was back at 5 centimeters.
That's awesome.
Have you tried muscle relaxers?
No. I was taking ibuprofen and I got switched back to Tylenol.
But muscle relaxers, I mean, not for pain, for like flexibility, because I was prescribed that from day one to take them like 4 times a day. And then I ran out, and then I just wasn't taking them for a while, and then I went and got a new prescription or whatever. But it's for allowing your muscles to be looser and go along with this whole thing. So I
wish they could prescribe us that. I mean, they gave us some of that at the hospital, like when we were after surgery.
Yeah, but that was it. What is it that they gave you, Coleman?
Yeah, it's called. what?
Flexor row?
Yeah, something with an M. I
Hmm.
think. Yeah, it's like, let me see, but yeah, it's just like over, like just prescribed muscle relaxers.
We need to do like a video of like a bunch of like just prescription to supplement for limb lengthening, you know? Like,
Seriously, like what is everybody taking? You know, that would be
totally, yeah. I just thought that it might be something if you run into tightness, you might try, because that's a tool that I have. Oh, methocarbamol, so Robaxin.
Roboxin. Okay.
Yeah.
Roboxin. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Roboxin.
that's estrogen too.
I'll give it a shot if I can get it.
Yeah, your surgeon would be able to provide.
Do you notice if that helps you, Codeman Red?
I don't know. You know, I just the idea of it, I take. I don't know if I notice a huge thing, but I try to remember to take them. I don't overdo it just because you want to keep your tolerance to where it's working. But I do it because it can't hurt, and I was prescribed, and it's like the idea of it makes sense. Like relax your muscles, you know. So
absolutely. No, I agree with you. I think that it does help. I think that a lot of patients usually take that, especially if they get like a little bit of mini spasms at night or little cramps. It definitely helps the muscle to kind of chill back a little bit. So very cool. All right. So now, MD, I want to talk to you a little bit. Are you in a situated situation?
Yeah. I just need to put my phone out of my pocket while I was walking around, so I'm good to go now if you want to show me.
Yeah. Okay. So let me bring on this first video. Let me share screen here. Where is it? Right here, the first one. Okay, so this is what you brought. This is the first video. So yeah, let me actually go back. Hold on, let me move it. I gotta pull it back so we can go.
I mean, it's a long video, so I don't know if I have time to show.
So just go ahead and just narrate what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's just basically me cooking in my rice cooker because I don't really know how else to cook anyways. So I just put everything like beef and frozen vegetables into my rice cooker. I usually do one, like I only have one dish to wash because it's just a rice cooker bowl, and I just eat off that most of the time. And I can get chicken breast or beef, frozen veggies and tomatoes. This is me basically trying to be like a cooking show host with broken legs, trying to show people you can cook if you could stand. I guess you can't do this without standing unassisted, right? So that's basically me just washing dishes, cooking, and then trying to get a nutritious meal at the end. And then I top it up with like sunflower seeds, chia seeds.
So you're cooking like all the beef and stuff in the rice cooker with the rice.
No rice. I'm already too fat now, so I'm
You're not too
dropping
fat. Look at you. You're like you don't.
No,
look
like I gained a lot of weight since
did you?
surgery. Like I was 137 day of surgery. I'm 156 something now, and my surgery was April 8th. So I mean, it could just be like my leg mass that's grown, but I do feel like some some belly fat and stuff. So I'm trying to. I don't really like if I put rice in there too. It's way too much food because that's like a giant like it's like a $12 like meat, just pure meat in there. So I mean, it'll be too much.
That's how you do the meat. You just cook it in the rice cooker.
Yeah. So I usually put beef, rice cooker, chicken breast. I did yesterday ground beef, and you just like let it boil there for like I don't know 10 minutes to make sure it's food safe, and then you just like do whatever, like stretch or walk during then, and then you just dump frozen veggies or tomato, like some things that like I don't like washing things or doing any sort of prep, so just whatever I can dump in there, and I dump in, and then we let it sit there for an hour and a half, and then you just stretch it to come back and eat off from the rice cooker bowl, so you don't have to do any dishes, or you only have one dish to do. And then I think the other one, other video there is like just me taking out trash.
I think it's I think it's the one this one right here. Let me share this tab.
It's a blue shirt.
Oh, blue shirt, not this one.
Yeah, this one. This is just me like doing various steps of cooking. You put the meat in.
I think if you guys just take a look at this, what he's doing here, what the really cool thing is if you are under the capacity of the nails that you have, what you can do, you can like Codeman Red was saying earlier, you can be a little bit more independent, right? Like both of his legs are on the ground at the same time, and he can stand freely because you have the 12.5s, right?
No, I mean we go by different capacity in Canada, right? So I'm at 10.7, 10.7 nails, but we go by a different capacity on 10.7 nails and 12.5 nails, which is 85 pounds per leg. So I don't know, there's some echo I'm hearing. If you can get rid of that echo.
Yeah, I don't. Do you guys hear echo?
I
Or
don't hear an echo at all.
it might be on
Okay.
your end. If you turn off the tab, sometimes YouTube or I don't know. Do you have anything else
No,
on?
I'm
Or
on my phone.
are you using
Yeah.
earphones?
Yeah, anyways, I can keep going, but so that means like anyone here around 160 to 170 can do exactly what I'm doing, which is stand and walk around, and we're not allowed to be like I'm not allowed to sit down, right? My doctor has told me like stand and walk, right? Like that's basically even for like just to stimulate bone growth. We're very big on mechanical stress, right? So.
Right.
Like I'm not like basically I'm not allowed to sit down ever, so I don't sit down. I try not to sit down at all.
Fair, but I think every surgeon's going to have different instructions for their patient.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but my overall,
I think these nails are much stronger than they.
Which is weird. I don't know. I don't want to say too much because I mean some in Baltimore have ground failures and then now you're walking around. But I think the point is that if the surgeon says, hey, you can put both feet on the ground based on the diameter nails you have for your body weight, then what you're doing in these videos is okay because it's showing the patients that, hey, I can stand safely without putting all the weight on one leg and bending the nail. So that's what we want to kind of get across versus just saying, hey, the 85-pound nails, because I don't want to say that.
No. It's really like whatever your surgeon is telling you to do that. I'm doing whatever my team and surgeon tells me, and I'm allowed to do that. I guess I do what you could probably do this if whatever your surgeon is telling you. If you can stand, you can do this. If you can't stand, it's very difficult to like right now I'm standing and I have my walker around me, so in case I lose balance, I quickly grab onto it. But if you can't do that and you can't stand without constantly holding onto your crutch or walker, then this is not possible.
Right. And by the way, is that quinoa? I'm cooking something that looks good. I'm still hungry here. I'm dieting, so I'll eat anything under the sun. So, oh man, that looks good. But anyway, no, thanks so much for bringing this. So you guys, I'll post his links to his YouTube channel below the video later when we're done. Indeed, that was incredible. So he's just showing you what he's doing as a femur lengthening patient who is apparently done. Are you done your lengthening? Because he says 81.
No, I mean I could be done today. We're going for 82.
Yeah.
I tried to go to 83, but I'm not allowed. Not letting me. So 82 is the max I can go. So I can either finish today or I can finish tomorrow. Most likely I'm going to finish it tomorrow and get it filmed because I want to thank you, Victor, and everyone that's helped me for a 19-year-old dream, right? The 19-year thing that I've been trying to do for 19 years, and it's finally going to finish tomorrow. So I want to have that kind of filmed. Hopefully as I call my team, G unit, the Dr. Gedelovich unit, my physio will just drop by and just film me for a few minutes, and then I can do the final distraction and enter my new code name, which is Master Consolidator. And then, so, but then hopefully I'm waiting on the October date. I'm going to be Master Rebreaker of bones because I'm going to do Tibias hopefully in October. But I'm still waiting on that confirmation. I talked to my surgeon last week and she said my bone growth is workable. It's not beautiful, but it's workable enough to go ahead. And my flexibility, I have a bunch of videos of my flexibility throughout the process. Maybe you can look at that one day and my x-rays too one day. But I really don't have any flexibility issues really, so I can go ahead right now.
Crazy. How is that possible?
I know.
I don't understand.
Right now, you went. I know you can see I seen my flexibility. I don't know if you can go on my YouTube. You can see my flexibility at 4 centimeters. It's the same right now. I filmed it yesterday too, Like it's basically the same. I don't have tightness. I don't have pain. I have nothing. The only thing I kind of sometimes like, I think around the 7 centimeter mark when I was walking around when I do like maybe 500 steps at once, then it maybe got some nerve pain, and then I sit down and it stops. But when I'm like standing or sitting or laying down, there's nothing. I stopped Tylenol like, I don't know, over 2 months ago.
Jeez.
But I'm going slow, so that's the thing. I'm going slow. I also have Botox. I maybe just, like you see my body, I train my body to be very like a lean and flexible, right? So that may have helped too, because I dropped a ton of weight and tried to make myself flexible as possible. So I mean, I'm pretty flexible. I asked my physios and Dr. G to check my flexibility for tibia. They think it's pretty good. So it's just a matter of now trying to heal a bit more the femurs, and then good to go hopefully in October. But I'm just waiting for logistical things, whatever they need to figure out, so I can get it going. But yeah.
That will be amazing, man. I hope the best for you. I mean, I just don't, because nailed legs, you see his femurs are still healing. So we want you to kind of make sure you're in a good spot, because I think that's what you're trying to get at, Codeman Red, right? It was about like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing that you've gone so quickly. I feel like I'm going so slow, but Master Distractor, are you, remind me, are you at like a facility? Yeah, you're at like an institution doing this, right?
No. I'm at Dr. Gedelovich in Canada. So it's not an institute. I guess I don't know if you call it an institution.
You're closer to it, right? Like you're pretty close to it.
Yeah, I'm close to the location. Yeah, so I'm in.
Like you're not home, basically. Yeah, like you're away.
No, this is not where I grew up in. I live in. This is in Montreal. I'm from Vancouver, so.
A lot of people, that's their situation. They travel to go do this.
Yeah, and exactly.
I'm different, where like that's where you have more of a time crunch or a factor.
I do.
Let me finish this up, which I totally get, and so that's why I'm like, different situations. For me, I'm at home. There's no reason to go.
Yeah.
So
like for me, like I if let's say like I asked if this is doable in October, and what I want to do is get to like my end goal really, and then go back home and take more time like walking, getting back to normal, because if I do it in October, I'm not going to be fully walking normally, right? Like I'll still have a waddle most likely, but I'd rather just be handicapped for 1 year and just get it done, as opposed to me like now heading back to Vancouver, heal for let's say 6 months or whatever, and then I have to come back again and find accommodation and like do all this. Here you have to book your own accommodations and do all of these really annoying things that I really rather not. I mean, I just would rather get it done hopefully in like 10 months to a year. I think 10 months, end to end. And then just go back to Vancouver and heal up there. Or not heal up, as like finished all the distraction here and then be fully weight bearing when I go back there.
That's smart, man. Well, we wish you the best.
We'll see. I'm not gonna. It's whatever I'm recommended to do. So far, the recommendation is I can. So it might change. We don't know if it is. I have seen this done before though, so I don't think I'll be the only one that's done this before. So I think we should be fine. So whatever is recommended by my surgeon, I'm gonna do.
That's fair, man. That's awesome. Very cool. Well, we're gonna keep us posted for that. We'll be waiting to hear the good news, hopefully. All right, so what I want to do now for the last couple minutes here. Okay. So thanks for sharing that, Codeman Red. I'm probably going to add that to the supplement list. He sent along Bone Restore, which is a bone healing supplement, and there's a few others out there. I think that one's a good one from way back. It's a really good one. So I want to go in the live Q&A. There's some people who had questions, and I'm going to probably throw them around the panel here. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. So this first one from Gamer Fan, actually, sorry, I gotta go to the top here. Sorry. We'll take that one first. So standing up is allowed even with the 10.7s if you're 160. Aaron, you wanna start off with that?
Yeah, so even here, they allow us to stand like when you're doing the Ultra G treadmill, like you have to stand for like 30 seconds before like so it can calibrate. If I mean, Dr. Robbins says that you are allowed to stand up, like even if, but for us, I guess we just kind of do it sparingly. We're not as liberal as like or the other clinic in Canada, but no, standing up is fine. But if you're walking, then you got to just use your walker, and you just got to like do that swing through step.
It's the same thing with Dr. Geothicus, where we're allowed to stand up, but we just can't bend the leg. So any two legs down at the same time, never ever one leg, never ever bending to get up or down from a chair. So if you're trying to sit, you have to offload all of your weight onto the walker and then sit.
Yep.
So we can stand up straight as long as the legs are perfectly straight and zero bending.
Yep, lock your knees.
Really good tip there. Really good tip, because we don't want any bending of that nail, especially for the 10-7s. Do you do something similar to CodeMan Red when you're sitting and standing from the chairs?
I use my walker but I'm also usually from this, I'm getting up from this recliner a lot, and so I'll just bring my walker and I leave the legs up on the recliner so I don't have to throw them up. I just leave it in that position, and I just put one hand as high as I can on this one, and I'm using a lot of my upper body. I'm probably using some of my legs too, but I just gauge it to where it's not putting very much on it. But yeah, and I'm standing. I don't walk without the walker. I might be able to take 1 or 2 steps, but yeah, for sitting and standing, I try to use my walker, but I can tell my body is helping me too. So
I think just to cut in there for the people, when I say I'm walking all the time, I'm also doing these things. I think I just need to have a tiny bit higher. We're going a bit higher than the 50-pound, right? But we're like, for me, when I have to sit down, I'm not just plopping my butt on the chair. Like, it's also the same thing, offloading with the walker into still using your upper body quite a bit. I think it's just we're a bit more liberal, like when we're taking steps, as instead of me holding really pushing hard on the walker and trying to only get 50 pounds per leg, I'm letting it go up to 85. So we are still not like walking around. We're just like a bit more liberal.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I think that it really depends on the patient, how much you weigh, the nails and stuff. But yeah, just being careful and cautious, holding on to the walker. All right, so this one from researcher. I was told I'm done consolidating and can start walking indoors, but I walk like a penguin with hips shaking more than Shakira's. It's been a couple of weeks, and I would appreciate the tips. So most of the patients here are still lengthening, but I mean, I can tell you from the patients that I've talked to, from femur patients, it's very natural to have that hip sway, the penguin walk, if you will, because the pelvis stability is just not there yet. And that comes from, your glute max, your abductors, and just getting used to your new height. So there's a lot of factors in play there. You said that you were told, that sounds like it was pretty recent. So it's going to take some time, right? And it says it's been a couple of weeks. Honestly, I've heard that, for that to resolve while you're actively working at it can take up to 6 to 8 weeks. So give it some time, but be very proactive with it. Don't just let time take its course, because it won't get better. So you have to really work on the glutes with your rehab specialist, whether it's your physical therapist or your programming. I call it the 4 quadrants of the thigh and the pelvis. So number 1, glute max. A lot of people think it's the abductors. Those are secondary. Your glute max is a huge pelvic stabilizer. And then your abductors, TFL. Then you want to get your hip flexors. Then you're going to go a little lower in the posterior chain, your hamstrings. And obviously your quadriceps are good knee stabilizers. So if you can stabilize everything from your hips and your pelvis down to your knee, that covers everything you just did for femur lengthening. You're going to be able to walk pretty darn good within, I'd say 4 to 8 weeks. It really depends on the patient and how fast they recover.
So Victor, do you mean like by stabilize those muscles, do you mean that this questioner should actually do some physical therapy to strengthen those muscles? Absolutely. Like outside of trying to walk?
100%. Exactly. What you just said, CodeMan Red, is strengthening is the key word, because the strength and it will stabilize, right? And you want to do it safely because there's certain exercises that femur patients are limited to. So that's why you want to talk to your physical therapist or a rehab specialist. And when you do that, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel so much more stable. It's like me. If I skip my weekly glute training or whatever, I feel like I have I feel like I even sweat a little bit. But when I do my glute training, I feel like a rock. I'm like, my walking gait is just so much more like linear. It's crazy. So your glutes are a huge, huge pelvic stabilizer. And I think that some physical therapists, they who got into this lengthening game, they just say, oh, abductors, TFL, just do the side clamshells, all that. No, go to the posterior chain, that big glute muscle, the horse muscle. That is your powerhouse, right? Go there first, and I promise you guys will be walking so much better. All right. So let's see, what's next? Jim Hudd is saying, underappreciated. Yeah, that's what Codeman Red was saying earlier, like just to look around and see other heights or around your perspective, 100%. So this one's for a Dr. G patient. I guess you, MD. All wheelchair. Dr. G is, so he is a Dr. G patient. Is making us do 3,000 to 4,000 steps every day from the start. I guess he was trying to rebuttal to Aaron, who was saying all wheelchair. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no wheelchair.
The Canadian one, right?
Yeah.
The woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
It's a little bit confusing because there's two.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Dr. Gedelovich.
I think I remember an interview you were doing, Victor, with that you were only interviewing her.
Yeah.
And she's actually really short. Like, I think she was my height or something before I did it. Or she said she was short.
She's like 5'2". Yeah.
But she said, I remember like hearing her say that, there's no wheelchairs at our place. Like, you got to get up and stuff. I'm like, dang, I don't know.
I was walking like we're all walking 3 hours after surgery. Like,
that's crazy.
Literally after 2-3 hours, you're walking to the bathroom. Like, you'll be forced to get up and get to the bathroom.
Good on that.
And I have on my YouTube, you can see me walking 8 hours after like somebody was filming me, another patient, and I demanded my physio film me because I wanted to show me walking 8 hours post-op. So maybe the next time when I get Tibias, I'll try to like get somebody to film me right when I get up, like on the third hour or second hour. So hopefully we can get that filmed. But yeah, you're walking, right? Like you have to, like you're like told to walk all the time. And right now, while I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to get my steps in. Like I have to get like I try to 3,500 to 4,000 is the goal. But more the better right now. So just you're walking all the time here.
That's crazy.
And Master Distractor, are you taking any supplements for your bone? Like, it sounds like an obvious question, but you're dealing with struggling with bone healing, right? Just while you're growing. So
right, yeah. So that's how I was slowed down. So Dr. Yosh gave me like the basic calcium and vitamin D stuff. But recently I looked into a supplement myself, which is like similar to Bone Restore, I believe. It's made from MCHA calcium, right? Like the one from cow bone. Okay. So I couldn't. I think it's the same thing. It's the same as Bone Restore, same ingredients. But I can't. In Canada, the supplements are different. So to get something from the US, it just takes forever to ship. So I got something very similar in Canada called OrthoBone. And I don't know. I feel like that's helping. So I am taking that. Because the last X-ray I did, she was happier than 2 weeks ago. So maybe that helps somehow, but I don't know. But I am taking that, but nothing too crazy. Just the calcium, vitamin D, that supplement I just mentioned, which is very similar to Bone Restore.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So we got Ben FD3s. I'm going to throw this one to you, Nailed Legs. So he's saying, I'm about 125 pounds, and this kind of like relates to what I'm standing about 5'9". Should I gain some weight before going through the surgery?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's actually, you want to be lighter than heavier. As long as you're not, underweight, which I don't think you would be. I mean, 5'9", 125. The BMI for that's probably a bit low, but I don't think that's necessarily underweight, of course. But you want to stay light for this because it's less strain on your bones, but also on your arms because you're going to be on the walker, you're going to be on the crutches, and
gain some muscle though in your upper
body.
Yeah. 5'9".
Start doing dips.
Upper body.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And cardio, good cardio.
And cardio, yeah, because you're gonna have to move around quite a bit. That's for sure.
And that'd be good for you too, anyways. I mean, just getting some cardio in for the general health benefits.
100%. All right, so this next one from Andrew H is saying, is it better to get the 8.5 millimeter precise nail, which is weak and unstable, or the 10.7 precise, which will require more bone reaming and removal of some bone cortex? One doc advised the 8.5 and one advised the 10.7. So it's really gonna depend on the surgeon, because you want to listen to them because they're the experts for that. But if one said that and the other one said that, then you have to just go with your best judgment of who you trust most and who you feel most comfortable with, because they're going to take the surgical approach that they feel the most comfortable with, right? So if one says, hey, I just feel like I don't want to ream too much and I want to get the 8.5 in there, then that's their choice. And if they want to do the 10.7 and they feel comfortable to slide it in there, then they can go with that. So you've got to really kind of listen to the surgeon here. We can't answer that for you, but I have heard from, I think it was Dong Hoon Lee did some research on the 8.5s, and there was significantly more bending of the nail in male patients who did femur lengthening. So you can take that, for some information if you want. But that's just what I've heard. So if you can go with the other surgeon who did the 10.7 and you feel comfortable with them, then there you go. Alrighty, let's see. Next up is Aiden. We already asked. We answered that one. So, Aiden, you want to answer this one from Dingleberry? Do you guys think that going from 5'10" to 6'2" is worth it? I'm 22, and I tried taking HGH at 16, and all it did was make my jaw grow. Since then, I have always wanted to be taller. So, Aiden, what do you think?
Well, 5'10" is pretty tall already, but I understand how it's different for everybody, but getting those 3 inches, even a 5'10", is gonna feel like a giant, like around 6'1" or 6'2", man. It is worth it for sure, Yeah, I just met there was one of us here that just left. I think he went to like 6'1". He was pretty tall since I saw him at the beginning, and he's huge now, man. He's like 6'1". So it is worth it, of course. For sure. That's like going from one tier to another. You go into like the maximum tier up there.
I was just about to mention him. I know who you're talking about, but like I sat with him on the bus, the guy that went from 5'10" to 6'1", and I asked him like, so like, what are your reasons for doing this? Because like you are like 5'10", like you're at a pretty tall height already. He was like, yeah, but like I'm going to college, and I feel like the average like height of the guys in this generation is like 6 foot tall, and I'm like, are you serious? Like average guys like 20s or 6 foot? Like what country is this? And he was like, really? I thought 6 foot was the average, but I mean, like, I think he's happier. I mean, it seems like he was doing a lot better. I mean, he's going to college, so I mean, if you're doing this when you're young, and I do agree, like the younger generation just seems to get taller than the older generation. I don't know about like how much, but I think it could be worth it for everyone. Everyone has their own bias. I mean, Aiden told me like, hey, you don't need to do Tibias because like you're tall enough already. But everyone, this is your discretion. I can't really answer that for you.
For sure, yeah, that's right. It's a more personal preference, but I'll tell you that I have seen a lot of patients who are above average height, and they do break into that 6 foot club or a little bit taller, and they do see significant benefits for their life, right? Because that's what they're trying to do. Like for one guy in particular, I think his dad and his brothers are like 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", whatever, and he's 5'10" or so. So for him, his environment, right, is very tall. So, or if somebody's from the Netherlands or somewhere that's really tall, for them it might make sense, right? But if you're just talking about like for the nation, just like society as a whole, then it might not make as much sense. It really depends on you and your immediate environment, I think. Yeah, it's your life. Yeah, that's what Jim Hutt's saying. It's your life, obviously, so you do you. All right, guys. So I think that's most. Codeman Red, is he still in here? Oh, I think he left off, but
he left.
He left, yeah, for a second. Okay, cool. Well, we're pretty much done. I think that was. Let's see, this last question here from the day. Here he is. Hey, man. From the day of the surgery to being able to walk, how long would that take for a 6 centimeter femur and 4 centimeter tibia simultaneously? So that's 10 centimeters. That's like that quadrilateral lengthening at the same time. I actually know a patient that did that, and it took about 7.5 months. They were healing average, and they did it like that. Could it going to be faster? Possibly, but they slowed down. They took some time. If you were going like at the 1 millimeter per day and maybe the 0.75, or sorry, let's say 0.6 in the tibia and like 0.75 in the femur, you might finish early. It really depends on how fast you're lengthening, but expect it to take at least 6 months, right? Because that's quadrilateral, and you're going to get extra tight because you're lengthening from 2 different points: the tibia below the knee and the femur above the knee. Okay. Yeah, guys. So this has been great. Real quick, I want to make an announcement, and then I'll go around the panel for one last time. So there was an Australian media company that reached out to me, and they just wanted me to kind of like put out an announcement. They're looking to do interviews, anonymous interviews with any Australian lengthening patients that have had complications in going overseas, whether that is like to Turkey, India, or anywhere. Like they're just trying to interview Australian patients. So if you know any Australian patients that maybe have had a hard time with lengthening or a complication, this guy in particular is looking to do a interview for. But why I really am announcing this, because he's helping my cause, because he's trying to bring awareness to the situation that like people are getting complications from these clinics that are all in it for the monetary gain. So I thought that was really noble. So I was like, all right, I'll announce it, because I'm not all about like just pitching more people who get surgery done in Turkey to go market Turkey. Like we don't need any more of that. What we need is like, hey, people are getting complications at some clinics. So if you know anybody, or if you want to put a feeler out, me, I try to get into the communities as much as possible. But if you hear somebody like, hey, I'm an Aussie or whatever they say, and they are thinking about it and or have had lengthening and had a complication, let me know. Appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna go on the panel. We'll do one last little update. So nailed legs, tell us what's happening next, and then if you have any words of advice for patients listening.
So x-rays coming up 21st, looking excited to it. Hopefully I'll be walking by then. If not, then definitely by the end of September. Any advice I have would be don't let your doctor push you around and not take your slow bone consolidation seriously. If you are having a slow bone consolidation, delayed consolidation, be very adamant with your surgeon that you're demanding a solution. Demand a solution from them. Where I went wrong is I was a little bit too passive because I didn't want to rock the boat. I was in a foreign country, place I'd never been to, Athens, Greece. I didn't know anybody there. I was by myself for the majority of it, at least. It's overwhelming. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. And so I basically put all of my trust, all of my hope in my surgeon, Dr. Geothikis, hoping that, he would take care of anything that, came up. And one of the big things that came up, well, the pain, that was one. But something that still affects me today isn't the pain, but the delayed consolidation. Here I am. I had the procedure originally way back in November and December, and I'm still in a wheelchair. I cannot blame Dr. Geothikis for the delayed consolidation, but I can blame him for the reaction to it. I've talked about it a lot on the Discord, but I definitely want to get the word out on here because some guys aren't on the Discord. Some people might just be watching the lives. So I apologize for taking so long, but the stuff really is important. I know it's great to talk, sunshine and rainbows about, the benefits of this all, but I really, really, really feel like I have an obligation to warn, other people about, what could happen. So, if you're ever in a position like I am, be very adamant with your surgeon that you demand a solution to whatever problem you're facing. The issue that I had with him, again, was a delayed consolidation, but he didn't take it seriously, constantly blowing it off. Yes, it's slow. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks. Constantly being told the same thing. It wasn't until I suggested to him something he never brought up to me. Hey, teriparatide, what about this? Maybe we could start this. This will start helping. Okay, yeah, but got him to prescribe it. Do it for 1 month. I go back in for my next appointment. I'm running low on prescription. I say, hey, I'm running low on the prescription. Can I please get a refill? Keep in mind I'm paying out of pocket for this, which I don't mind. To which then he tells me, oh, well, we're starting to see the results that we want to see. So no. So instantly I'm, shocked by that, response because, hey, I got this problem. You put me on it for 1 month just to then take it away. And the literature even shows that generally, it takes a couple of weeks for, a difference to be seen, with teriparatide. And I only was on it for a month. So, of course, I go back in there, next appointment, didn't take the teriparatide that last month. What happens? Still slow bone consolidation. No surprise to me at all. What does he tell me? Yeah, when you go back to the United States, because keep in mind, that weekend, I was leaving to go back to the United States. He tells me, yeah, when you get back, you should see about getting a prescription for teriparatide. Gee, thanks. It took you this long, to finally do something. And then when you did it, you rescinded it. So, me being frustrated is an understatement. Again, I can't blame him for having, the bone problems, but I absolutely 100% blame him for his reaction to it. So what am I doing now? What's changed? Well, I have a new orthopedic surgeon, and she has given me a bone stimulator, which again, that's a solution. Let's do it. Awesome. Literature shows that it can increase bone consolidation by about 38%. But then it raises the question, well, why didn't Dr. Giotakis do this in the first place? And again, Victor, I know I'm going on and on here, but this is just really important that I get this word out to any prospective, Dr. Giotakis patients or any other patient. But it just raises the question, why wasn't this done sooner? Why did it take so long for Dr. Giotakis to give me solutions to the bone growth problem that I had, which was seen basically from the very beginning? I had like one x-ray in the very beginning of my tibias, which were good. But my femur x-rays were always bad. I always had terrible bone consolidation. Keep in mind, I only did 4 cm, which is hardly anything, right? And I still had this issue. Dr. Giotakis, his solution, nothing. And this is just, one of many other issues that I had with his aftercare, his treatment of me. I think that he has a good surgical technique. I have no reason to believe that he has a bad surgical technique, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that his aftercare is lacking. It's poor. I think that there's a lot of things that his clinic needs to change. I think that, he'll probably see this. He'll probably hear what I'm saying, and I hope he does, because I hope that he changes the things that he's doing at his clinic for the good of future patients. I don't want future patients to have to go through what I went through. I hope in the future more patients are more adamant with him or with their surgeon, wherever he may be or she may be around the world, so that way they don't have to go through what I went through. I hope that, more surgeons, especially Dr. Giotakis, takes these problems more seriously. And, I apologize for taking up so much airtime there, but, I really had to get that out. I want to warn people.
I needed that to be said because it came from you, and that's what I wanted to, because look, you're not alone in what you just said. Okay. There are several patients that contact me week after week from their clinics, and this is the same thing. They feel like they're victims to their surgeons. I'm like, you pay these surgeons a lot of money, right? And the surgeons are the experts. So what you said is to demand a solution for a problem or a slow bone healing or whatever it is, whatever issue you have. It's completely true. You should do that. Okay. And maybe the solution may not work, but at least you're trying something, right? Because if you just sit there and let time take its course, like I was talking about for the pelvic stability, it's not going to happen. And I think it was Dr. Burkholz when I interviewed him, and he kind of echoed what I said years ago. It's like what you have in terms of 1 year after surgery, it's kind of permanent, right? So, and look, to get your bones healed, that's serious because you can't really walk and live life without that. So nail legs, that was huge. Thank you so much for doing that. And I think that that's something that I got to definitely timestamp, and I'll share that with multiple patients, because it's big. It's not just for his clinic. You're saying it's generic advice for every clinic. So very, very well said. All right. So next up, I want to go to, let's go to Aaron. Aaron, what's happening for your lengthening? And then, any advice to patients? He has to go off and back on. That's right. He's refreshed. Hold on. He'll be here. Here he is. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. I mean,
one more time, Aaron. One more time. We're gonna get it on the second time. I think the hotel that you're in, they have like some sort of jammer or something. Let's see. We're gonna get you in here. Here he is.
This is really annoying, but I hope you guys can hear me now.
Yeah.
God bless. I'm one of those patients that everything's going pretty good. I mean, my bone healing it's not too fast that I can risk pre-consolidating compared to another patient, but also it's at a good rate where I feel like a lot of people said like you can, consolidate quite early. So I'm hoping within a month after I finish distracting, I can hear some good news about me walking. I would say to any prospective patients, and this is something I would have told myself too, is just going with the mindset that nerve nerve problems, nerve pain, that is totally normal, and learn how to manage it like early. If you listen to your body, is pretty much the biggest message I have. If you feel the need to slow down is probably going to be your best solution. But I understand like some people are on a time crunch, so they have to force themselves to go 4 turns a day and then they got to leave. But by the end, I think slowing down, like especially like 3 turns consecutively, really helped me out a lot. And I would probably say that probably also contributed to me being able to still maintain, my pro knee band flexibility to at least 140 degrees. And I'm planning on sticking that until I finish lengthening. But yeah, I'm doing great so far. God bless. And yeah, we'll just see what happens within the next 2 weeks and a month from now.
So excited. I'm so excited to see you finish your journey, man. That's awesome. But yeah, 140 in the knee bend. That's incredible. That's better than people who didn't get lengthening done. Awesome. All right. Aiden, let's get some what's happening in your future lengthening process, and then any words of advice for people listening.
Yeah, one thing for sure, slowing down, like Aaron said, it does help. I would recommend whoever comes to give yourself like a buffer of like extra 2 weeks on your timing. Give yourself an extra 2 weeks, budget it in ahead of time, because when like nerve pain or things get tight or anything comes up, the first solution is slow down, and that does help like a lot. You might think, oh, what's 1 turn gonna do? It helps a lot, man. Like I know Aaron, he's the one that always been like on point with that. Like he slows down, and he's doing really good, man. Aaron's cruising. You see him, he seems like he's not getting anything. Like his legs are super like flexible.
Yeah, I feel I want to add like around 5 or 6 centimeter. I know like Codeman Red. I mean, I know you are getting pretty tight, but like for me and another friend, like we feel a lot more flexible at 5 to 6 centimeters than we actually did in 2 to 4.
Wow.
So I mean, it's different for everyone, but I feel definitely for me, slowing down like consecutively 3 turns definitely did the trick for me. And I don't think I would not probably be the same like here today with my nerve issues. Like if I were to continue on 4 turns. So yeah, go ahead, Aiden.
Yeah, for sure. Like buffer in 2 weeks, 2 extra weeks in your timing schedule, and if you don't need them, go ahead. You leave them before, but you have that peace of mind. Like, what if I need to slow down for a week? What if I need to take a couple of days off? You have it already. I see people right now struggling with the timing, and they're pushing the 4 turns, and then they're having a hard time. And I'm like, is it worth it for just extra 2 weeks? I trade off the extra time for a better time at lengthening. For sure. Like,
that's great.
And I applied it to myself. Like, I slowed down around 5 centimeters. I tried to get back to 4, and then body reacted. Like, I don't like it. So I went back to 3, and I'm like, okay, now this time I'm gonna just go until hit 80 on it.
And it worked out well for you, man. That's awesome. You found the sync that your body was working with. That's so cool. Codeman Red, the new guy on the block, but man, he dropped some serious value today. So, man, what's happening in your future? You're at 63 right now. What's your goal? And then obviously, like for everybody listening, what's some advice that you can give them?
Okay, so my goal right now is to just keep monitoring my flexibility and working on it. I think I kind of figured out a good routine with just holding the stretches longer. That's certain things I didn't do in the beginning. I started learning more. And another little thing with stretching, which Victor, you've put out great videos on this, but also like when you get tight, like in the middle of the growing phase, when you get really tight, instead of trying to push to a really good stretch and hold, and it's like excruciating, go to where you're just feeling the stretch and then just sit there and like watch, like do something and like just hold it for minutes if you can, like a really light stretch. Like for my hamstrings, I'll be on my stretching table and I have the chairs you can put in your shower or the bath for like what we're doing for handicap. I have an extra one of those that I have sitting next to my stretching table. So I just put one foot on that, and then the other one I stretch out straight to do my hamstrings. And I'm just sitting up, so it's at like a 90-degree angle, or even probably less. And then you start to feel a stretch, and it's so tight that you feel the stretch in your butt, like where your hamstring connects to your butt, not even in the hamstring. So that's a stretch I do, and that helps, and you just hold it there, and then you start to go for like reaching and just kind of reach, and then like just play around with different intensities of stretching that will help with tightness. And then to finish up with my goal, I think for now I'm just going to shoot for 70 and see how I feel, but since time's not a huge factor for me as far as like getting home or whatever, I'd like to get back to full capacity work. I want to clean my house to a T like I used to. That's you can't do as much, and so it's like kind of starting to see things change around the house. But yeah, my goal is to just probably stick to 3 a day, take a day off if it gets to be too tight again, and just finish off the ride. So yeah,
super exciting stuff. I'd love to have you keep coming on, because it's like you're almost there, and like I said, you had some really unique perspectives today, so that's great stuff, man. All right, and to wrap out the show, we have MD. So MD, you are pretty much finishing lengthening, you said tomorrow? Oh, I think he's muted. Hold on, MD. I'm gonna unmute you. There you go. You there?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I can finish up today, but I'm just like trying to go out with a bang tomorrow and have it filmed. So yeah, finishing up tomorrow, it's great. I think I'll go more on the positive note, I guess, as in if you want to do it, I highly recommend breaking your legs. It's awesome. So I don't know. I had a super, I think compared to a lot of other people, on an easier ride maybe. It was slow because I planned to finish a month ago, but I stopped for 2 weeks, and so that took 2 weeks off, and then I went slow, right? And I think echoing some of the other guys, just going slow really makes it, I think, one of the reasons it's been so easy, I guess, in terms of like pain wise and flexibility wise, because at 4 centimeters, I was at 1 millimeter, and I did feel tightness when I was just standing. We went down to 3 turns, or 0.75, and I haven't felt that in a long time now. But yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, definitely have to share that video of you finishing lengthening. That's a huge accomplishment, getting the 81.75 millimeters, and then hopefully
82.
82.
How you go beyond 80? How you go beyond 80 on the?
That's hey, Aiden, I think we're gonna have the clinic wars, because Dr. Robbins has said multiple times it doesn't go past 80. Then Dr. G and her patients are saying 82. So we're gonna bring on the surgeons.
There's 83. There's 83. I know Dr. Burkholz and Dr. Asayag lets you go to, and I was like, I want to go to 83, and I was like, they're like, no. So I think it goes even further.
Like, do they program the machine?
You have to reprogram the machine.
That's crazy. I got to see this for my own stuff. People say it, and the patients are getting it done, but man, I don't know. That's crazy. But anyway,
I think as far as I know, it goes to 83, but I think here we cap it at just a bit under.
The secret of the precise nail. That's it.
Yeah.
Crazy. You guys are finding it. You're hacking it out. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. This was super valuable for every patient that's listening, prospective patients, current patients. Really, really good stuff. We have all femur patients here, and maybe a future tibia lengthening patient, so that's great. Thank you in the chat for contributing with your questions. That's super helpful. And like I said earlier, if anybody knows any Australian patients that have had complications and wants to do like an anonymous interview with a media company that can help bring awareness to limb lengthening and help destigmatize this procedure, that would be really helpful. You can reach out to me. Victor at cyborgforlife.com is my email, or you can just find me on cyborgforlife.com. And yeah, thanks, Benjamin Mendoza. I see you all the time in here. My other moderators, you guys are great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, everybody on the panel. And for episode 168 of Limb Lengthening Live, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out. See you guys next time. Bye.
You guys.
And
See?